This is Matt Russell, and welcome to the DailyFX Forum.
So here are the four pairs that I will be discussing this evening: the Euro Pound, the Aussie Kiwi, the Pound Swiss, and the Euro Swiss. So let's go ahead and pull up the charts. The first chart is the Euro Pound, and I was on vacation last week, so this is the first time that I'm looking at, well, I looked at them before the presentation, obviously, but some of my analysis is a little bit fresh, so I might need another day or so, but I'm going to go ahead and analyze these charts anyway. So as I was speaking about during the past videos previous to last week, I was looking for prices to come down near that 88.50 area. Actually, prices came down to about the 88.70 area right here. I do see at least a little bit of a bottoming formation here, but ideally, again, I'd like to see prices come down to this level, but using this line here as well, it looks like prices spiked there off that line. So more aggressive traders, I would take a shot here maybe on the long side, but I would wait for prices to come down closer to this line, look to enter maybe a few pips above it, and maybe only give yourself a 20-30 pip stop. But again, in my mind's eye, I just see that this looks like an exhaustion move here. Prices taking out the previous lows. But again, we would need another 24 hours or so to see. Ideally, I'd like to see like a doji or some other confirming candlestick pattern. The next chart is the Aussie Kiwi, and it looks like prices might be heading for a back test of the previous resistance line from the channel, which might now act as support. That would be confirmed. Let me zoom in here. That would be confirmed with a move beneath this candle right here. I'm not, again, I would need another day or so in terms of my analysis to not that I'm ever fully confident. That's always something we should look out for. But in terms of setting up favorable risk to reward trades, in my mind's eye, that's what I would look for. I'd look for prices to come down to this line, and that's about 150 pips so away right now. So again, maybe another 24 hours or so. Also, if you recall during the previous reports, the location of this line, the exact location, can kind of go either way, and that's why honestly I like to use these thick lines, because we should never use support resistance as exact levels. They're general areas. That's why I like to wait for closes above or beneath to confirm breakouts, things like that. So again, just looking at this chart, I would personally wait for prices to come down to the previous resistance line, which should now act as support, which would be the most favorable risk to reward trade. The next chart is the Pound Swiss, and prices are continuing the rally here. I have added this simple support line, which I was using in the previous reports. We can see prices did come down. We had a close just beneath the line, and then the next candle was a green candle, obviously, which closed back above it. So I would still continue to be bullish here. We could see this candle right here actually confirm the line. Let me zoom in a little bit. Right here on this candle wick, confirming the line. So I would still have a bullish bias against this support line, and I would keep it up just like this again, because and that's confirmed with this candle wick here. That kind of confirms the line. So again, this is the line I would be using. But right now, I don't see any favorable risk to reward entries. Ideally, I'd like to see a close above the previous highs here, about 69.77. Which could set up a long trade, but the only long trade I see right now, again, in terms of favorable risk reward, is prices coming down to this support line, where we might look to enter with a few pips above the line, with a stop maybe 50 to 75 pips beneath the line. The final chart is the Euro Swiss, and if you recall, during the previous few months, if you will, I've had this triangle pattern up, and if you recall, this is what I was speaking about in terms of if we don't have a violent resolution to the triangle pattern. You can see there are a few different ways also to draw the resistance line here, but there's only one way, in my opinion, to draw this support line, and prices have closed beneath it, but still the range is incredibly tight. And to be honest with you, I trade the Euro Swiss in short-term range trading, and I've abandoned trading it as prices got closer to the apex. And again, without this violent breakout, something else is going on here. So I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and kind of see how this plays out. Maybe more aggressive traders, we could see that the previous support line might be acting as resistance. Let me zoom in here and give you a better idea of what I'm speaking about. This is the previous support line, which might now act as resistance moving forward, and then we also have these resistance lines here. Again, I was saying in my mind's eye, I was favoring an upside breakout, but with this evidence, I would maybe favor the bearish side line, but I would wait for that favorable risk-reward entry. And these lines have held pretty closely, so we can have a little bit maybe tight risk. For example, tonight or over the next 24 hours, if prices do come up to this line, I might look to short with a stop maybe 30 to 40 pips above the line. But again, we'd want to see prices actually come up to the line, to this first line here. And again, we have the second line up here, so maybe more aggressive traders would short at this line, and more conservative traders up here. But again, I would need, personally, I would like to see a violent resolution to this pattern, and the fact that we didn't have that means something else is going on, and I'm not really sure what it is. And when that's the case, you know, I just move on and look for other trades on other pairs. Again, this is Matt Russell, and please stay tuned for a preview of the DailyFX forums.
I want to go ahead and formally welcome everybody to the DailyFX forum. And I want to explain a little bit about the forum and the wealth of information that you can obtain from the forum, and how to go about doing so, how to find the things you want. So I'm just going to dive right in right now. And this is DailyFX.com, and this is usually how I navigate my way towards the forums. Obviously, you know, it really depends on each individual how they access the forums, but this is how I go ahead and do it. I go DailyFX.com, go ahead and click on the forum on top, and this brings you to the DailyFX forum homepage, and this highlights the most recent posts with the subject. So if you see anything that you're interested in, you can obviously go ahead and click. What I like to do is click on the forums tab like this, and go ahead and view the forums in the normal, typical way that forums are set up. And here you go, there are a bunch of threads down here. And I'm just going to go ahead and go directly to the forum, the video you just viewed, where you viewed it. So let's go ahead. This is the DailyFX Instructor Tips Forum, identifying trades with DailyFX. That's me. Go ahead and click on the most recent post. So this is where you are right now viewing the video, although the video will be the video beneath this one that you're watching right now. So normally when I'm on the forums, and what I would do is just scroll up to the top. Certainly you can check out any of my previous videos, and you know, especially if I did mention them in the report or in the video that you're viewing at that moment. And what I will do is go ahead and click on the forums, and then look for the forums that I like, you know, that I have interest in. One of them would be the Euro-Dollar forum, and this, again, it's really up to each individual trader as to exactly how they want to use the forum. Personally, what I like to do, the first thing I do is I'll go to the Euro-Dollar thread, I'll go and click on the latest post. And what I'll do here is, and again, I just want to, you know, really emphasize this point. It depends on your exact mindset when you're viewing. And me as a trader, I have some experience. So what I do and how I personally use the forum is I go through and I'll read what people are saying about the euro, what their trade ideas are. I certainly, you know, try to maintain my own individual objectivity, and I really don't pay much attention to what other traders are saying in terms of my trading. I'm not going to certainly see something on a forum and then go jump into a trade, but what it will do, it will open my eyes to certain trading opportunities, maybe a certain line or a certain time frame that I haven't looked at before. So that's one way that I personally like to utilize the DailyFX forum. But certainly for newer traders, there are plenty of topics that you can go over. Let's say, you know, you might not be well versed in terms of certain currency pairs that you want to learn about. Scalping, you might not know what Elliott wave is. You can go ahead and click there and see exactly what you can, you know, what you can understand, what you might not understand, and then certainly feel free to ask questions about any of these topics that you have. Maybe the carry trade, maybe you have some questions about that, or the sentiment, the SSI, or the latest economic news, FX programmers, the webinars, MT4. Any questions about active trader, you can go ahead and click on those threads. So again, it's very free, very open, and there is a wealth of information here and just waiting for to be utilized. Again, this is Matt Russell. Thank you for listening.